They ain't know what the data. They ain't know what the data.
All right, so this is the Mexican saying that they need reparations.
Yeah, I
I
saw
do
it
not
exactly.
consider this the United States, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. This is our land. We did not cross no borders. This was promised to us.
Right.
This is our land. So by reparations, we need our land back. You can go now. You know. So if anybody's gonna speak up about that, though, that would be a big part of our reparations. Not just money, give us money, and then what are you gonna do? Spend it, and then what are you gonna have left? That was part of their agreement when they made all these agreements with indigenous tribes as well as the North American Indians, which aren't separate from us. They're the same. They said they offered them money, minuscule amounts of money for their land, and they were conned into doing these things, bro. And they turned us against each other. They made us worship all their shit. They cut us. They, like I said, they used to cut off our piochlis, our warrior braids. They put us into their indoctrinational system of teaching us these things that we're going to consume our spirit and consume our lives, bro. Such as our dietary law that they told us milk is good for your body and all this, and you got to learn this, and you have to learn our language. You got to learn Spanish. You got to worship these idols. You have to do this, and they robbed us of our prayer. They robbed us of our dance. They robbed us of our history. They robbed us of our complexion, of everything, bro. You know, so reparations should come with speaking about getting our land back.
What are your thoughts on that?
First of all, let me say this, Dana. I am for any group who feels that they are owed reparations fighting to get what they are owed. Let me just put it out like that. If you feel you're owed something, go ahead and fight that battle yourself. But you notice how they only wait for us. They always follow what we do. We really are the trendsetters, freedmen. Like, people really do look to us. We're the mama bears and papa bears of the world, right? Let me say this. That guy is probably like 70% European from Spain. Talk about some indigenous. Then he talks about the North American Native Americans were the same as whichever indigenous background he has. They were fighting and killing each other, those different Native American groups. They fought over borders all the time. They didn't see it as we all own this land. No, they saw it as this territory is ours, and you better not come to this territory. We're going to kill you. If you research the history of Native Americans, the red Native Americans, they fought all the time over borders. So they did not consider this whole land to be theirs even then. So we are definitely not going to play that game now because Mexico has even stricter immigration laws than United States of America. I don't know if he's from Mexico or not, but if he is, I'm going to say Mexico and many other nations have even stricter immigration laws than the United States of America. You can look it up. I want to also add that having blood of a certain people does not entitle you to their land. More than likely, you and I, and I'm not sure how you feel about this, but you and I, perhaps, I know I do, I have the blood of probably various African tribes flowing through me. That doesn't make me entitled to the land of that may be today called Nigeria or the Ivory Coast or Benin or Ghana or Mali or Senegal just because I have blood from there. That doesn't make me entitled to that land. I also have blood from Europeans. I'm not entitled to land from England or Ireland. I also have indigenous blood. Just because you have blood from the people of a certain land from centuries ago, a long, long time ago, that doesn't make you entitled to that land. So no, just because you may or may not have blood from one of, and I'm in his case, was not the black Native Americans, from the red Native Americans, that doesn't entitle you to come to the United States of America illegally and ignore our laws, especially when the nation from where you hail has immigration laws as well. Now, if they choose not to enforce theirs, all hell well. But we need to start enforcing ours. And that's one of the reasons why Trump won.
And you notice in that clip, he tried to lump him and his people with the natives of this land, like the Indians here. He was like, well, we're all the same, Mexico and the Indians here, because the Native Americans here, they did get reparations and they do get grants and, all these policies for them and stuff like that. So it's convenient for someone who's saying that they're Mexican, well, we're the same as the native here. We're not different. They just separated us so that they could claim those resources. And it's a game. It's a game. It's about power. It's about money. It's about access. It's about tangibles, and everybody is in on it. I just think
Sounds like he needs to go talk to the Native American tribes here and
they're
sue
gonna be
them
like,
for
"No, you're not
reparations.
part of us."
Right, since he feels that he's one of them. First of all, Mexico was paid for that land. They lost the war, but they were still paid, I believe, at that time, $15 million. And for that time in the 1800s, that's a hell of a lot of money. They lost the Spanish American War the Mexican American War, excuse me, and they were paid money for that land that they readily accepted. So if they did not benefit from that money, they need to holler at Mamacita, okay, and to Padre in Mexico and ask why their family did not benefit from that money that Mexico was paid. There was a treaty that Mexico signed, the Treaty of Hidalgo, Guadalupe.
Okay.
So if they did not benefit from that money that Mexico received, they need to holler at the Mexican government like we are hollering at our government for our reparations.
Right.
Don't come here and expect us to be your muse.
Right. You lost the war. So
and a lot of these white Hispanics are some of the most anti-Black American freemen bigots you could ever imagine. Extremely anti-Black American.
Yeah. Yeah. And they are very open about it. So
yes, they are.
And so listen, there are people, and I'm not talking about we're not talking about people who are not bigots, who are not racist. We're talking about the ones who are, and they make it be known, whether it's verbally or by way of stab you in the back so that they could get public policy over you or jobs over you. That does go on a lot. And there are a lot of, I guess you could say, South Americans who are Americans and they're in law enforcement. They're just as bad as a racist white man who has on a blue uniform, who's a police officer. So,
I mean, look at the way they treat Afro Latinos.
Exactly.
If you ever been, I've been to Latin America. I've been to several Latin American nations, and even the Latin American nations that Haiti is Latin American. I don't know if people know that.
The darker you are, the more badly you're treated.
Well, even if you are a lighter skinned Afro Latino, like I've been to Haiti. Haiti's like 98% Black. And yet, even in Haiti, a lot of the businesses I saw there were owned by the mulatto or very fair skinned Haitians. Right. But when I went to places like Puerto Rico, which is an American territory, Guatemala, I can't remember all the places. Mexico. Mexico doesn't have a lot of Black people, but the dark-skinned people, I definitely saw the difference how they were treated. But when I went to countries like Brazil and Colombia down in South America, Brazil and Colombia have large Black populations. Matter of fact, people say Brazil is often like 55% Black. Colombia is like 40% Black. And let me tell you,
more than that in Brazil. I think
they're probably more than that because the census, they're real funny with classifications in Latin America.
And then people who are light-skinned, they want to claim other than Afro.
Even the ones who are dark-skinned. You see, we don't have that internalized self-hatred. Even the dark-skinned Afro-Latinos sometimes want to call themselves anything but Black. But I saw that the Black populations were always highly concentrated in the slums. And even in areas where even the white Hispanics were poor, the Black population were always far poorer than the general population in.
Mm-hmm. No, that is true. That is true. And some of this, like this racism, bigotry is in every nation, every culture, every nationality. They have that. But listen, thank you, Marcel. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Dana. May I say something real quick? I'm not running for office anymore. So people who go to my website, no, I'm done. No, it's over now. No, I'm not running for office again. So people who are going to my website, feel free if you want to just read about my platform. Maybe you want to run for office, you could adopt my platform.
Do you have a mailing list that they could sign up to on your website?
I do not have a mailing list. I'm working on what my contribution to the movement is going to look like going forward. But it will not be running for office. But
not
people
even
feel
locally?
free. Not even locally, at least. I don't know if I'm still not even locally, but I'm still going to be very involved and very active. But I hope now I have freedom of speech. Now I can let people know that I practice what I preach. So if I say we need to be involved and we need to replace the people in office instead of just complaining about them, I can say to people, that's what I tried to do, even though I may not have been, I was not elected. So
yeah, but a lot of times people who are not in office have more power than the people who are, because you definitely can educate people on public policy, how to create a policy, how
that's
to get
right.
policy passed
Education, right.
locally. Yeah,
Organizing people, but not just that though. You are supposed to hold people accountable, and that's
yes.
what we don't do. That's what most Americans don't do. Period. And that's what I plan to do. To the extent of my ability. So, thank you, Dana, for having me back.
No, I love it. Well, I already told you, honey, at least once a month, I want to pull you over here to talk now, because now I know you're not running for office. Yes, you are more free. You're more
Yes, I am, and I love this freedom because now I can finally let people know.
right.
People used to say, I ain't gonna vote for you. I'm like, I wanted to do that so bad, but I was like, you know what? People donate to me, people believe in me, so I need to at least be a person who's more appealing to the masses. But now that I'm not, I can let people know. I always let people know. I always told people how I really felt, but now I can do it with even more freeness. But
Real
thank
quick
you.
though, on Clyburn, right?
Uh-huh.
Is he retiring this year, next year, and his daughter?
Oh man, I don't know. Clyburn, when they asked him, he said that he doesn't know. He said he'll be running as long as he can run.
I thought
So
his daughter was going to come in and take his place.
he wants to get one of them in, but we're shifting away. First of all, the Democrats were slaughtered here in South Carolina.
Right.
The Republicans
So he
already had a super majority in South Carolina. They picked up 4 more seats in the Senate. They picked up more seats in the House. So really, the Democrats are almost irrelevant here in South Carolina. Like they literally have no power at all.
Okay.
Clyburn may have won re-election, but he always wins around the same number of votes.
Yeah.
But he's not happy right now because he saw that his party lost the presidency, they lost the popular vote, and they lost the electoral vote. They lost the U.S. Senate. They lost the U.S. House. All this losing. So Clyburn may have won re-election, but he's going back to a White House now that is more Republican dominated. And let me tell the Republicans something. You better keep your word on illegal immigration. You better keep your word on illegal immigration. And I mean it.
Yeah, because if they don't, then they're going
to be held to pay.
Yeah.
Now.
Exactly. And the midterms coming up. So
that's right. And they'll be getting slaughtered.
The midterm. Exactly. So thank you again, Marcel.
Thank you, Jennifer. You take care.
I will be reaching out. Well, first of all, have a wonderful Thanksgiving and happy holidays.
Thank you.
I will be reaching out sometime in December before you come back on in January.
Hey, that sounds good to me. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. You take care.
Okay, you too.
Dana with the data. Dana with the data.